This is my season for grace, for favor. This is my season to reap what I have sown. Yes, it is. Yes, this is my season for grace and favor. This is my season to reap what I have sown. Yeah. Listen, I haven't been perfect, no, but I sure have been faithful. Yes, I've been faithful. You see, God's got a purpose, no, and yes, I know He's able. I've got a seed in the ground that He's blessing. No more stressing. I've got a seed in the ground. Now I know Him, and now I can show Him. This is my seed for grace and favor. Yeah. This is my seed to reap what I have sown. Oh. Every king is working together for my good. Help me say, every king is working together for my good. It may look bad right now. Every king is working, but it's gonna work out together for my good. No matter what you're dealing with right now, every king is working. It's gonna work out together for your good, for my good. Let's go to the next part. Say it's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's gonna work. It's working for my good. Don't you give up. It's good. Don't you give in. It's good. Hang on in there. It's good. It's working for my good. My good. My good. It's working for my good. Well, hello, and yes. Welcome back to the Ag Up Podcast.
And we're back with another
episode
one.
12.
12 is crazy word.
Yes, we have been doing this 12 weeks in a row. It is very important that we practice being consistent.
Consistency.
And so, yes, that is professional. And so we're going to crank this thing up sooner or later. But again, we're figuring it out, and we are glad that you are with us. Again, we have good information. And as you can see, we're live with StreamYard, and we really use this platform even when we do have our media specialists, because it allows for us to bring in people. It gives these cute little tags and stuff.
Ag Up World.
Yeah, it makes us feel like we are professionals. So, yes, again, glad
Good
this is Hemp Month.
Everybody. Welcome to episode 12 of Your Hemp Business, because this is what we're here for. We're here for you. Okay.
Yeah, it's the month of industrial hemp. Yes, it is.
We're about hemp business. I'm Terry and Janae Parker. This is the person that birthed me. Coach Simmons, Coach K, the biggest and the realest. And you can't play with her, okay? Because she's number one.
Yes.
I don't care what nobody say. But we're navigating the world of hemp. We're navigating farming, and we're navigating business. And so whether you're just getting started or if you're looking to like level up, this is where you need to be. We're here, right here.
With real information for you. Stuff we
got a real lineup. We got a real lineup.
Yeah,
we got real hitters.
Yeah. Okay.
Woo, we
Yes.
got real
And your
hitters.
number one hitter is Coach K today because we are talking about your hemp business. We want to crank this thing up. When I got into hemp in 2019,
19.
yes, which has been a while. Just know that the camera's still on. That I really the farmers invited me in around the industrial hemp.
First of all, let's start off with the fact that she was not supposed to be farming. Let's start off with that. First of all, I was supposed to be an environmental engineer. Let's start that.
Yes.
But some kind of way, my mother ended up dealing with people who are actual farmers. I don't know if she did it for me, she did it for my family,
Interesting.
or how it worked out. So where it worked out, but she took it upon herself to be like, okay, now I need these people to do what they need to do so we can do what we need to do. And so
that's how we got here. I want to talk about, I want to give a shout out to Reginald. This is Reginald Hurst.
Reggie Reese and Green told him doing some incredible work in the hemp farming industry, because if you know about them, then you know about it. If you don't, you need to check about them.
Yeah, and he has passed away. So unfortunately, you know, we lost one of the great ones. And Reginald Reese, I just want to give a little history about him because today we are talking about hemp businesses. And Reginald Reese came into this thing. He was doing really big things really quickly. I just want to show a picture or two of him.
That was my first hemp farm that I got to be a part of. I saw here like they had a drying situation, so boom, they had like pounds and pounds of hemp.
Okay, everywhere because they was doing that thing and they were doing it
big. Like to where he was doing the gummies, to where they was boom pulling out the THC and Delta 9 THC and the CBD from their plants. He had it's a beautiful thing. He had like a farm hand, and we were definitely working towards getting like solar panels on their farm. So it was
just doing big things.
It was such a beautiful experience, like to see somebody like, okay, now this is what I'm doing, and I'm doing it, because he was doing smoothies before. Because you know, like, oh yeah, no, everybody loves smoothies, smoothie. That's what we're doing. But he switched over into the hemp farming industry and said, "This is what I want to do for myself and for my family, for generational wealth." And I was like, wow, that's crazy work.
So this is just a couple pictures of them. This is Reginald Reese and Dwayne Hirsch, Black-owned hemp farm. And it is considered the very first owned Black hemp farm in Georgia. So again, just some more information about Reginald. So he literally owned 14 juice bars here in Atlanta, and he sold those and got into hemp. He started out first off with a logo, Green Toe Hemp, and then he had a farm. Let me see if I can show y'all a picture of the farm. He had he also was connected to a distributor long before he actually was out there selling his own stuff. So that's a picture of his farm up there. That's a picture of a barn that's on his farm. And so Green Toe Hemp website was booming. Like she said, it had the gummies, it had the roll-ons, everything. He was making money instantly because he understood the concept of business. He understood that at the very beginning, you know, I got to have a brand. At the very beginning, I have to have a farm. I have to have a distribution site. And he crunked all of that up. I remember when he was putting little squirters out there to water the farm because he still was new at farming. But he had the money and he was ready to tackle any problems that they might have been having, And so, and then he had Dwayne Hirsch on his side, who was definitely like his operations man. He ran the farm. He made sure things was going on at the dispensary. They had a dispensary. He hooked up with Made in China, had little bitty processing plants for the gummies, for the pre-rolls. They had even got into white labeling. And so when we talk about business and the business of hemp, just kind of learn about Reginald Reese and Green Toe Hemp Farm and exactly what that was, and how he grew that thing in such a short time.
Green Toe Hemp Farm was established in 2019 by the CEO, Reginald Reese. It holds the distinction of being Georgia's first Black-owned hemp cultivation facility. And it was an initial 17.5 acres in Metter, Georgia. The farm expanded to 38.5 acres, reflecting its rapid growth and success in the hemp industry. And it came from the vibrant green toes frequenting the fountain of Reese's Atlanta residence. Under him and Dwayne Hirsch, like you said, him and Dwayne, that was like a dynamic duo. Like if you seen them two, you knew that it was about to go down. Okay,
yeah, they had the they came in their green toe hemp jackets. They had the paraphernalia going on. Yeah, they even hired somebody to make t-shirts right there on the spot. Got hemp. I mean, just
got milk, like that's
got milk. It was
the
got
branding.
Hemp. Yeah, the branding was so
the
crazy.
Branding and the marketing. But they vertically integrated their operations, starting from cultivation and then processing and then retail. They had over 50 items, including just the CBD. They had the oils. They had Delta 8 pre-rolls. They had the pre-roll machine. So like I remember like one of my cousins. I don't know whose cousins it was, but it was somebody's cousin. We all cousins. Yeah. But he was just like, yeah, no, I'm just doing the pre-rolls for Green Toe at this time. They had vapes, topicals, capsules, pet-friendly hemp.
Oh, I almost forgot about the pet-friendly hemp products. I mean, besides the tinctures that was drawing in anybody who had a knee replacement, hip replacement. These people thought this was the pharmacy. They literally was visiting Green Toe Hemp Dispensary monthly to make sure that they had their tinctures and their roll-ons. The pets, you got those scary little dogs and stuff. They had CBD for your pets.
So my dog, like, I literally have to give her like medicinal, like sedatives to get her nails clipped. Because she's not an aggressive dog, but at the end of the day, like even if she jump on you, like if you get cut by her nails, it's a different situation. So getting her nails clipped is a process. She don't like getting her nails clipped. I don't know what to call it.
It's her baby too. So this is Bella Ann Parker.
Bella
is her daughter.
That you gonna give her whole government.
Yes, that's the dog, her dog's name, which is very important. And like most animals, most pets are very important to people. And so he had that area covered too for your pets. And so just focusing in on hemp business, I cannot go forward without talking about Green Toe Hemp. That's just how important the movement was. I remember him bringing the mayor of Camden, Arizona, to talk about helping their hemp farmers come together with the support of the city. I remember him growing fiber in Texas, 200 acres there. And so I got a chance to work in the dispensary, which gave me a lot of insight and history about working with CBD and just hemp products all around, working in a small processing plant because that's what he had there on the location. Everything, yes, was I in love with Reggie? No, but I definitely respected that man for the work.
Was a beautiful person.
Oh yeah, he was married too. I mean,
Oh
yeah,
my
I
God.
almost forgot
No,
about her.
listen, Linda. Look, listen.
I was supposed to not be Linda tonight, but okay.
We're not supposed to be talking about it, but just like the emotional connection that you have to people.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I do. I was real close. I wouldn't say I was in love with him, but I definitely respected the man. He threw me a lot of work because he seen my hard work and my dedication to trying to help farmers, trying to help people, and he just thought highly of everyone. He was a really nice guy.
That was my first time seeing a COA. So he showed me the COA for their certificate of analysis that they had at Green Toe Hemp. He was like, okay, no, this is where my farmers stay. He had like a shed, like it was like a mobile home to where the people stay on his property to make sure that they were able to keep up with his crops.
Yeah.
And that to me, like it was mind blowing. And then like his wife, his children, like just leaving a legacy of who he was to the people that were important to him. That just meant so much to me. And
yeah, he really was concerned, like even with his family, with his friends, with coworkers, other farmers. He was just a really nice guy. The only person I know who would show up on the farm in patent leather boat shoes. And his silver. He kept silver, didn't he? Silver rings, silver, everything. Yeah, oh my gosh, yes. He kept the silver.
Don't play with him.
Yeah, don't play with him. When it was down to business, that's what he was about. I almost forgot, like before they even started this thing, him and Dwayne went across the country to Colorado to about 40 different places to learn about him.
Amazing.
He was really, again, about standing on business. That's the word for this year 2025, standing on business. And so he definitely was that person the whole time, and we really just appreciated him for everything that he did. So yes, we have some other people that's going to be on the show. I'm going to talk later on.
We can't even talk about it. A hemp industry expert.
Yes.
Because don't play with this is Harris, okay? Because she's gonna drop some real knowledge. She's not playing with y'all folks. She has the strategy, okay? She has the business. She's going to specialize in what you need to know to navigate what you need to navigate. Because, like, oh my gosh, like even when we were at Morehouse, I think it was, and we were at Morehouse for the hemp. There was a hemp summit somewhere.
Yeah, it was actually the minorities for medical marijuana.
Minorities for medical. That's exactly what it was.
And they was having an event there.
Alexis invited us.
Alexis hooked us up. So yes, again, she's been in this thing all the way since the jump, and there is so much to say about her. I have learned about Alexis early on, and she was like dead serious about everything she does. And so the fact that she has this consulting service that's available to farmers and ranchers, we all are lucky. Okay, her core values are all about her clients and having meaningful solutions to make an impact in their company as well as their communities that they serve. They're able to, with Harris Consulting, her clients are able to achieve the goals that they are trying to do, increase their brand visibility, collaborate with other partners, networking experiences. So Alexis is all around the right person for the job. And so we definitely want to add her to the stage today for everybody who is thinking about business. You need to be thinking about Harris Consulting, okay? And we are fortunate to have Miss Alexis Harris here with us tonight. Welcome.
Thank you, ladies. Hey, everybody. How are you doing tonight?
Hey, girl. Hey.
Yeah, don't play with her. So, yes.
Like, what? Strategic partnerships. Okay, don't play with it. Cannabis industry, agricultural alliances. Like, this is who you want to be. This is who you want in your corner. Okay, if you don't know what's going on, call Harris and Associates. Okay,
Yes, yes.
call her.
And she got her own website. So it's no reason why you can't find her. If you said you couldn't find her, you was not being honest. I'm gonna try to get
She's
away
the
from the words
president of the
capping, lying.
Georgia
Yes.
Hemp Association. Like, put some respect on her name. Like, come through. Okay.
Yes, come through. Yes, put some respect on Georgia Hemp Association.
I love her.
And yeah, and that was a family thing too. And she, again, supporting her family. We have a hard time doing that. Like our family.
She inspired me to support my mom. I didn't even go. She support her daddy. I need to help him.
I need to help my mama.
Intergenerational working together. That's called intergenerational work.
Yes.
We doing the work. You work with your mama, I'm working with my daddy, but we all handling our own separate business while collaborating so we could be accountable, we could learn, and make sure it stays in the family, period.
Okay, period. Okay, so Alexis, tell us a little bit about your company because it is vast. I mean, we just know about the hemp side, but
we couldn't even tell enough to.
Yeah, we got some more stuff. We're gonna talk about it. If you don't hit on them, we're gonna talk about your National Women and Associations. But
we're gonna give you all your
that on my chest,
all
National Women in Ag. I'm gonna always make sure I represent the Georgia women in agriculture. Shout out to Miss Noreen.
Noreen Whitehead,
she's
chapter chair.
Like the way that Miss Noreen talks about you and how you have assisted the National Women in Ag for the Georgia
chapter,
the Georgia chapter, and all the things you've done for them. Like it's just. Oh my God!
It's inspiring. Yeah,
it
literally, just they need a business side. Yeah, and you're doing it. So yeah,
continue to elevate their name, continue to push their purpose forward, and in this industry where it's not a lot of Black women, it's not a lot of women. Period. It's a lot of white men.
And other race men. So it's just a lot of men, period. And then if they see us, they think we're the help. It's like, this is my business. So
no, like, it's your business.
They're like, are you the
like, why are you here? Who invited you to the party?
Secretary, no, not this year. Not this year. So yeah, can you just tell us a little bit about how
So thank you all again for having me on your show. Again, I'm Alexis Harris. I'm Harris and Associates LLC, but people know me as Consulting Harris. That's where you can find me on Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Again, as Consulting Harris. So a little bit about me. I started off in the cannabis industry around 2013. I have 6 family members. My sister had a brain aneurysm at 11, and my grandma was a triple cancer survivor at the time. And so there were just things in my family going on where I was able to become educated by legacy market individuals. And for you guys who don't know what legacy market is, that is the unregulated industry that is often criminalized, but these people have a vast amount of knowledge versus traditional wellness people such as doctors. So a lot of times in the industry, these people are looked over because they don't have certificates. However, they are literally out here saving lives and are on the front line. So again, I learned from people in the legacy market how to help take care of my family who were sick, assisting them in areas that pharmaceutical medicine just was not helping them. Fast forward to I had a brand called Trap Kitchen Treats, which stood for To Rise Above Poverty. I used to do podcasts and special events, be out in the community as far as in the 420 arena. And we took this trip to Colorado with about 20 people out of Atlanta, all of us of color. And what we learned during that trip, it was the very first year they had recreational cannabis, but they also had something called hemp. And these people were going crazy about hemp, and we really just were like, what is hemp? Fast forward to, we learned on that trip, one, that both hemp and cannabis were businesses. And we wanted in on it. We didn't see anybody who looked like us, who had tenacity like us as far as marketing, just being innovative in the moment. We didn't have huge budgets behind us like all the other participants, so we had to use innovative and guerrilla marketing tactics, which help us ultimately get good connections as far as relationships and networking opportunities to be able to educate people here in Georgia about the things we had saw across the nation. The same things we would do here, you would be considered a criminal. Out there, you would be a business owner. And so I transferred from TKT, Trap Kitchen Treats, from doing, that type of education to doing Consultant Harris, because I went to the Capitol with my dad. Shout out to Michael Coach Harris. He was one of the first hemp lobbyists in the state of Georgia, period, before anybody had a farm, a store, any product, before the 2018 Farm Bill was even legalized. Period. My father was lobbying for it at the Capitol with other people like Sharon Raver, Tom McCain, but nobody who looked like us. So at that very moment, we knew, like, hey, we might not have money or funding like all of the other companies, but we do have social impact power where we can invite people like you. You've been to the Capitol. Ms. Noreen's been to the Capitol. Others have been to the Capitol, where we create space for people like us and people like Reggie and Dwayne to be able to do education, not only in our communities, because we got it, through legislation, but coming to the elected officials and building those relationships and really being able to say, hey, I always tell people in Georgia, they said hemp was crack. They really believe that. So I walked around the Capitol with the plant. You could go on my Instagram and you'll see me and Georgia Hemp for Life with hemp plants in our hand. We went through the security gate with it and everything and gave it to elected officials. And you'd be surprised how many had never seen the plant, didn't know what it looked like, never touched it, never smelled it. And they wanted to touch it. Seeing is believing. So we could talk to death and write them all these letters and stuff, but when you bring it to them, like, and put it in their hands, that's something completely different. But to hurry up and get to the point about who I am, I went from an advocate to realizing what you said. Oh, baby, this is a business. Advocates do not make money. You're going to spend a lot of money in gas and parking, stomping and marching and all of this stuff, which is necessary for, for the right time. But after 5, 6, 7 years, 8, 9, 10 years, you're going to get a little tired. You're going to need a sponsor and you're going to have to get on your business. So what you said at the beginning of the webinar, we standing on what? Business.
Standing on business.
So I have to start a business, and that's what we're about now. So when people ask, what do you do? There's a lot that I can do. What I do.
It starts with consulting and the end with Harris.
Period. That's who you're going to be consulting with.
We love to see it, like, people that are really putting the work in, like, because folks don't want to do the research. You don't want to do the research. You don't want to do the energy. But this is somebody who was there and seen it and put in the work and told these people, like, you don't know what's going on. Like we were talking about last week with, this is where the flag was built. The flag was built on hemp. Like, what are you talking about? Like, why are we sitting here discussing a plant? A plant. We're discussing a plant. That's what we're really talking about. It's something that girls in the ground is diabolical. Like, we're not even finna. We can't do that.
So tell us, Alexis, how do you help hemp growers? Urban,
I want to mention this before I get to hemp.
Because Noreen, she was just like, all of the people were just like, she just put you on this beautiful pedestal. And
so we like to hear what you got to say.
It's not about that, but you're there.
Thank you. Go ahead. Thank you.
I just know helping people and meeting them where they're at is important. And before I get to that, I just wanted to say, when it comes to the hemp and cannabis industry, like you said, as women, it's just really hard to be a professional, period. But when you're talking about the hemp and cannabis industry, they do not want to give money to women like me and you for consulting. They will body paint you, hire strippers, do everything but pay a woman to tell them what they know. They want to pick your brain, they want to do all of these things. So it has been a fight to even last this long in the industry when people are backdooring you, stealing from you, trying to stun on you. All of these things you have to deal with psychologically. You have to put all that to the side. You have to put all that to the side and understand, stick to the mission. And this is why I love Miss Noreen, because me and her are both faith-based, where there's never a moment where we're plotting on somebody, or it is always, how can we help them? How can we amplify them? What's the next opportunity? What can we do? And sometimes that doesn't translate into money, which is something we're working on. But spiritually, it gets us abundance money can't buy. It's loyalty money can't buy. It's respect money can't buy. So we built that account first. We built that account first. So now
they don't know how big God's account
is.
They don't know how big God's account is, because when God say that the check gonna clear, best believe that it's gonna come through. Okay, like it's always coming through, and I love to see like people's heart being where it is, because like the negativity, the like you said, the brown and black and female, the DEI.
Okay. Don't get me started on that.
Here trying to talk about.
I said people were mad at me when I said I don't support DEI when it came out, and they were like on my behind, like, girl, what is you talking about? I said, let's talk about it, because if you're a moral person, nobody has to make a law that requires you to be diversity, diversity, equitable, and inclusive. You would just be doing it because that's something you want to do. So when we're talking about DEI as a program, yes, it opened up opportunity financially. Like, yes, that is a reality. But you see it didn't last. And so that's what we've had to deal with in the hemp and cannabis industry, where people see these shiny things like, oh, we have an opportunity, but is it going to last is what is important, because we're talking about a brand new industry where there's this much space we've been given, and we're busting down doors with no budgets behind us. So we have to think about what's going to last, not just be doing what's cool and trendy. So let me fast forward to why we talk about industrial hemp. This is what I do for farmers. Industrial hemp is a crop, but it hasn't been grown for hundreds of years in the state of Georgia. So we need to know what genetics work for us. We need to know what the soil needs to be like. We need policy advisors who know what they're talking about when they're making THC limits or synthetics out of the hemp plant, even the industrial plant. When you're making new value-added products, all of these things we have to be educated on before we start taking people's money for a license. Like, oh, we're going to make a license for this, but our own people aren't educated about it. And so it's almost like robbing the community of money, because you're getting money for something that a system's not set up for their success. So I help people kind of think through those situations, so they're not just throwing money at the shiny object. We could have a processing center, we could do this, we could do that, but we brought the very first licensed hemp farmer in the United States to Georgia, and he told you not to do X, Y, Z, and our farmers just kind of wanted to do what they wanted to, and now we're at a point of they're ready for unity, and they're ready to, get stuff started, like you said, versus it just being a thought or a conversation.
Yeah, it's amazing. Again, now that CBD was super saturated when they got in, and so just telling them, okay, we need an end game, we got to have a plan. And my feelings on DEI is like you, what do I look like in black and white? What do I look like on paper? What does my resume say? What does my
business plan.
What does that say? What on paper do I look like? Is the paper is just black and white?
Are you compliant?
Right.
Like, period.
Do you have quality control, evaluation systems? What do you have in place?
Can we talk to those legislatures? Do we have people who are lobbying for us? Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Yeah. Even my kids, like I teach eighth-grade science. I tell them I don't teach socials because I don't want to get into the politics. But at the end of the day, that's all. That's what our government is all about. It's about politics. And if you understand politics, that's how you understand the government. And so, if you got more people advocating for you on your side, then you're the winner.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, that's all it is.
So helping, I'm glad that you're able to kind of point that out to farmers.
For people to say, hey, if I'm a farmer and I only got 1 week to take my plants out of the ground, and otherwise it's illegal, like you said, then that's not viable for me. So what can I do that's viable for me? How can I get somebody to advocate for my legislature? Okay, who is my representative? Who's a part of the Department of Agriculture?
Okay.
Who's in the Department of Agriculture?
Tyler Harper.
Yeah. Go ahead and tell us a little bit more again, like how you are helping the farmers as we move forward. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. When it comes to the farmers, really, I've just been a resource to them as far as letting them pick my brain. You know, what I said I was against, I just let them do that because nobody really has all of the answers. What I know is that UGA started a program, and I thought we would be able to do a lot of growth through that program, but unfortunately, it has stopped. We are in discussions with different schools trying to figure out how to get some type of continued learning education going on. So it's community-based certificates that farmers and other growers can get. I do want to point out in this moment that a lot of times from the cannabis side, people don't look at growers as farmers and farmers as growers. And so we really need to connect that bridge to have a conversation and understand the business part of it versus the farming side of it. I do not grow plants, but I have a lot of resources as far as humans and people who do grow plants. What I do is connect people and make sure that we're really thinking things through, that we're creating plans, business plans. I did plans with the beginning farmers through a NIFA grant with Miss Noreen. I've worked with industry professionals so I can make sure when I come back and I'm having conversations with people like you all, we're really having comprehensive thoughts. Also helping the farmers do administrative work. A lot of times as entrepreneurs, we feel like we have to do it all because we can, but you do owe time to yourself. And so outsourcing work is always a great outsourcing work for administrative tasks is something that I assist with as far as making business plans, making sure you have your EIN number, helping with hemp licensing if that's a process that you find difficult and you need assistance with, doing webinars, seminars, anything that's going to get outreach and collaboration to our community. That's what I do. Because a lot of times farmers are I don't like to use this word, but it's the truth. Farmers are stubborn because they know what they know, but they have to learn how to trust other people because they know what they know and it will be adding to the success of their business. So just really filling in the gaps for farmers in areas that they might not feel comfortable with, attending networking opportunities, building brand collaborations with other brands where they could, hey, I'm selling beef, you're selling corn, let's do a pop-up together where we have a chef making premier items, and now that's 3 brands amplified versus just 1 brand amplified, stuff like that.
The collaborative effort. So this is the Ag Good podcast, ladies and gentlemen. This is agriculture for a united people. Okay, so we all need to come together to make it make sense because no, we cannot do this by ourselves. Because no, you might be selling beef, like she said. Oh no, you might be selling corn. Boom, that's cool. But at the end of the day, we have a chef that is sitting here trying to push their brand forward. So how can we
cooking it up,
do what we need to do to be successful together? And that's the goal here, and that's the point of our businesses. How can we extend our businesses to do what we need to do. Because yes, you can go into a bank and say, hey, this is what my farm needs to do. But if you don't have a farm plan, if you don't have an EIN number, if you don't have a business plan, if you don't have a documentation to state what your profit and loss statement is supposed to be over the next 5 years, then nobody knows. They don't know what you're trying to do.
You're not expressing it if you can't put it on.
Your mom was there last week when Dr. Anna Braxton talked to us about having like a central records folder where you have your business plan, you have your financial records, your checks, all of the things that you need to verify your business. And sometimes farmers don't look at their farm as a business.
She had a lot of, yeah.
It was a great tool. You had something similar. I remember you had something similar.
Oh yeah, we definitely.
You had it about a couple years ago. I just want to say this. It was a great resource. Carrion's been coming up with a lot of stuff for years as far as resources for the farmers and really understanding the networking part of it. So I'm really proud of you for keeping up all of the work and keeping us together, because sometimes ego could get to you. It's like we need people like you who keep us together and stay focused.
Yes,
that's my
I
mama,
appreciate that. Yeah, no, record keeping.
That's my mama.
I have definitely been preaching that. I still have a record keeping kit. It looks like a portable file cabinet, and again, it is to help with good agricultural practices. You putting in your procedures, your best management practices. So yes, and Dr. Ina is of course a member of the Georgia Women in Ag. And in her binder, it's her business binder. And she talks about when you walk on her farm, exactly what she does with people who are helping versus people who are visiting. All her certifications, her licenses, she can flip right to any of that. So I definitely believe in record keeping. And currently, since you brought that up, I am working on the online version of the kits so that we can have I can be able to monitor these kits from anywhere, not just give them to the people and teach them how to use them. I'm very patient with the farmers, myself, with Black people, period. And again, for us coming together.
First of all,
this is Hemp Month.
Have you ever heard those words? People being patient with Black people.
Honestly, Black women have been patient with the world. Let's talk about it. Black women have been patient with the world. We're just now verbalizing
nobody's sitting here saying it though, but we have to acknowledge the fact that somebody's sitting here going out of their way to say, "Hey, no, I'm going to do what I need to do to help you." And
period.
That's what you're doing. That's what she's doing. That's what we're doing.
What
and that's why we're doing. Yeah, that's why we are doing it.
We're doing it.
Yeah, and this is Hemp Month. We got some different events coming up at the end of the month too, where we're going to try again to bring our hemp growers together. We're going to have a farm forum at the end of the month, and we, of course, to get those dates out to you. We're going to have a private farm forum too. So if you are a big time player in this thing, you have hundreds of acres, or you have a seed company, or anything in that regards, no matter what state you're in, reach out, because again, we're going to try to come together, agriculture for a united people, so we can get a bigger market share. That is so important. People are wonder what is my motives? The farmer said, get off the side of the road. That's what they asked me. We want to get off the side of the road. How do we get into the market? In order for us to have a bigger market share, we have to come together. It's just no way, I got 10 greenhouses, I'm finna do the thing. No, you're gonna need 50 greenhouses in different places growing. So, just kind of being
in a street
mindful
team,
of
in a marketing plan, a street team, a marketing plan, preferably a doctor and an attorney. There's a lot of things that come with it. That's why I also teach people about ancillary services, which are non-plant touching services, because compliance was something you brought up earlier, and compliance is the world. And like I said, what they do in Colorado,
Okay,
you could be a
repeat that
criminal
one more
here.
One more
time
time, yeah.
because you was breaking up a little bit. I don't know if they heard you
Yeah, just
because
repeat
I
that because
feel
we want to
like
hear what
that
you're saying.
was
Yeah,
who
say it again.
that was
For the
Cindy.
people here in Georgia, we're very innovative, and sometimes we forget that we're not in Colorado. So what you could do out there, you can't do here, and sometimes you will be considered a criminal. I know Farmer Penny, she's a licensed industrial hemp farmer, and she got wrongfully arrested and put in jail because the police officers were not informed enough to know she had hemp. So transporting is an issue. Education to our law enforcement is an issue. And when I was bringing these things up, people kind of looked at me as a negative Nancy because it's like, well, such and such is growing it, or they're selling these products right now. What are they called? Like multi-level marketing dispensaries are a thing in Atlanta right now, which I support because it is an entry into the market, but at the same time, like, don't play yourself into thinking like you are a true leave now because you have a multi-level marketing CBD company, not actually a THC holding company. So it's just like having that knowledge available to you. And then I also want to say this for the farmers.
Well,
A lot of times we talk
Yeah.
about the plant, but this is what industrial micronized hemp looks like. And it could be used for hemp bedding. It could be used for soil remediation. This same thing could be used for animal feed. And this is all just hemp hurd, which comes from the stalk of the plant. And so, like I said, this one thing, even it could be pounded down into a powder. I had it, but I can't find it right now. They use that for oil spills. So when we're talking about hemp opportunity, this is as much education as I could do in Georgia right now without it being a huge problem and a financial burden. When people do have money, I try to direct them to supporting the farmers because that's where everything starts. So we need to know what strain of hemp in Georgia will grow the best type of hemp stalks that we can use for other products. And so that's where Georgia hemp farmers are now. We got people making hair products, homemade hair products out of the hemp that they grew and put in other herbs like thyme and basil and stuff like that to make hair products, but this doesn't have a barcode. This isn't Georgia compliant completely. It would be covered underneath cottage growing. So this would be okay underneath having a cottage business. But when we're talking about business, this is why it's important because they're selling hemp hair products in the hair store right now. But our people are making the best product. But because we don't have access to funds, it's making it hard for us to be taken seriously and have thriving businesses. So when it comes to farming, farmers have to collaborate with other people who could get them packaging, people who could create the value added products out of this so you could have Farmer H's hemp bedding, Farmer H's hemp food for animal feed versus us keep pushing everybody else's product and not really getting the brand recognition or having the authority to do what we need to with our own brands.
Yeah, we completely agree with that. There are a lot of people, and they're not farmers, who are getting into the business and exactly doing that. Like they're taking some hemp oil and adding different stuff to make hair care products, skin products. And so there is money in the business if you, again, have an end game. I was hanging out with Cedric Rowe, Rowe Organics, and he was just talking about inventory. He grew and he had 3 kilos and he's turned that into product. And so as he keeps changing his oil into product, he has inventory. So when people are looking for stuff, they're purchasing it from him. It's from, he's making money off of what he's grown. And again, with the end game, you got to know what you're putting together, what it's supposed to look like, barcodes, things of that nature. You got to look into that if that's what you're trying to do, put out a product such. And it's called a cottage program that was under Commissioner Gary Black. He started that up so people can start making products out of their home. food products specifically, but again, products out of your home without having USDA inspection and things of that nature. So there is a way, where there's a will, there's a way. It's very true about that. And so that's good, Alexis, that you highlight, look, what are you growing this for? What is it exactly you want to do? Who do you need to partner with if you're trying to, do medicinal purposes, and you're trying to add a little turmeric in, or a different stuff in that way. Marcus Stallings is on the line with us, and he's just talking about white labeling. Okay, and that could be a great business tool as well. Can you explain to us a little bit about white labeling and what that is?
So when I was talking about the MLM, multi-level marketing dispensaries earlier, that is exactly what they're doing essentially. The only difference is that they're not putting their own brand name on it. So white labeling is taking something like this, a pre-mixed product. So you pre-mix it. It will have all of the information that you need, like you talked about earlier, a COA, which is a certificate of analysis. That's a piece of paper that tells you what's in the product. And different things like that. And so when you white label, you will get pre-mixed products with a COA, pieces of papers that verify the product, and you could put your own brand name on it. So if you wanted to have Ag World Up CBD, you could. If you want to have Harris Hemp and Hemp, which is a brand we haven't completely launched yet, you could put that on pre-mixed stuff, and that's what white labeling would be, and you'd be able to have a consistent supply chain and a proprietary blend for the things that you want. And then, like I said, the multi-level marketing difference with the dispensary is that they would have products already branded, so it would be like Ag World Up blend, and now you have 50 representatives selling Ag World Up blend versus them starting their own brand. So, and I do support that for people, because now you don't have to worry about all of the compliance that they're unclear about through the Department of Agriculture. You have pre-made products that you could get straight to your community and be in charge of the supply chain versus letting somebody else be in charge of the supply chain.
That's all you gotta do.
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea, especially for people who's not even really trying to grow hemp, but you want to get into that. Even Marcus agrees that MLM on that CBD could be serious. And when we think of multi-level marketing, bringing in our circles, or bringing people in up under us, I've never really liked that model. But
so
for
no,
this,
listen, Linda.
I feel like everything's MLM. Literally everything is MLM, where the only thing is you choose to be the salesperson, or you're just an advocate back that you're going to get paid for it or you're not. So think about if you have like your beautiful hair wrap you have on. You're going to be an advocate for that hair wrap. Like, oh, I got this hair wrap from Ross. I love Ross. Ross gave me. So now you done gave them a sale, and you didn't even capture your value from it because you willing to get that sale for free. Versus if we have something lined up with our retail people and we're like, hey, I got 3 sales for you, Ross. I need my 15% this week. So everything is MLM. You getting that money.
You're going to endorse whatever you are. Folks are like, oh, yeah, now what's your skincare routine? And I use turmeric black soda. No, I need to have my own turmeric black soda because I need to be selling it, because at this point, 2, 3, 4 people ask me for it. Oh, no, what does you smell like? What is that? What is that aroma? Like, you got your own fragrance? At this point, I'm finna start my own fragrance. I'm not finna be playing with y'all folks no more. We have to sit here and stand on business, because we finna sit here and put all our money, billions of trillions of dollars, into the white man's money. And I'm gonna
no more.
The white man made up money. The white man made up money. So they're always going to be the closest to it, because we have spirit and they made up money for capitalism. So it is the white man's money. However, we need it in this world. So, we're going to commit on this show right now today to say we're handling and standing on business. I believe something all Black people love is Vaseline, right? So we're going to make a CBD Vaseline and let that be the thing that we make with everybody. So all the workshops, you guys came to my workshops before where we made hemp bricks before. We made skin salve. I feel like the farmers should collectively come together and determine what product they want to sell. I'm saying Vaseline right now. Say, let's make some CBD Vaseline. It's going to be Georgia CBD Vaseline. And we're going to make that our product and just push the
new Aquaphor.
Say that.
Yeah, the new Aquaphor, okay? Yes.
The best skin protectant for all farmers. So now we all have a hemp business. Okay. We don't have to fight over nothing. So we all got a hemp business. And we're going to have Mr. Handy and them grow it. So we're going to have the Vaseline and we'll be the mixers. All the women in ag. We're going to be mixing it. Have our product.
Yeah, no,
we got to come together. So it's definitely going to work.
I don't know. My Vaseline stay disappearing. I'm not going to point no fingers, but I buy Vaseline for my classroom because my kids, they love Vaseline. They smear it on their face like it's nothing. Like,
I have a Vaseline this big right now. Vaseline this big, and I mixed it with CBD isolate. So it's used for skin cream, face cream, Aquaphor purposes, like you said, and it is so helpful. So
I can definitely see us going in that
direction. We love to see it. I'm so happy and grateful that you're here to bless us with your presence and to share your knowledge about your experiences of how you've noticed the transition of the hemp industry. Like when we started off, where they was just like, no.
Right. No. And they was rejecting us.
Oh, we might have
to talking bad about us. Like, oh, y'all some heads. You some crackhead. You some this. You're that. You need to stop this. This is not serious. I mean, there's a lot that is not being told right now because for the sake of time, there are so many more things in between on both ends as far as that we have had to go through to even make it in this industry. And we're never going to give up. Let's put that out there. We're never going to give up. But when people ask, what do you do? Just like they ask you, what do you do? There's so many things we do. It's really like, what do you need me to do? Because everybody has a lot going on. You know, some people got grant writing going on. They're doing collaborations already. And my thing is, how can we be inclusive of other brands, making sure we're getting money together? And if we can't get money together, how can we barter together to amplify each other's brand? Those are the most important things for me as a business owner and why I operate. Because like you said, we have our brands, all three of us. So what am I going to do after this? I'm going to go repost it. I sent it to everybody in my contacts right before we went live. I'm going to put our logos everywhere because we don't have a PR team. We don't have a marketing team. We don't have an $80,000 lunch budget. So we have to stick together and do these things together and do what's necessary for us to be successful.
She done said it.
Yeah, and then as we are even going forward, we know, and why are we focusing on hemp this month, industrial hemp? Because it is the new gold. You know, I could definitely see SP 500, NASDAQ. I could definitely see on there cannabis, industrial hemp, building materials. Those things is the wave of the future, and we got to push in that direction. We know that 100 years ago they was growing this thing and making plenty of money. George Washington, the very first president, had a hemp mill. So we know for a fact that this is the way. We just got to get more organized. You know, we definitely know that proper planning is needed. So thank you so much, Marcus, for listening and shouting out the fact that proper planning is needed. We got to come together, and that's why Alexis is here. That's why I'm here, because we're not the farmers, we're not ranchers, but our part is just as important. You know, it is so important for us to bring in that paperwork, for us to bring in forecasting, for us to bring in we need
collaborative
to do
partners.
foreshadowing. Yeah.
For us to go network
Partners,
for you, because
resources.
you have to be on the farm. You can't go network. I will go network for you because you are supposed to be taking care of those plants, understanding everybody's
When
value
I
and
say
really
walking,
honoring each other.
yeah.
Yeah, value and honoring each other. I don't know if y'all got that. It was breaking up just a little bit, but yes, everything that she just said, we have to respect our lanes that we're in and that they're needed. The hand does not do what the foot does. The foot does not do what the ear does, but it all has to come together and work together. So that is a really big deal. Alexis, Noreen, myself, it's a few others where we're not focusing on what can we get out of it, but what can we do for our people? How can our people come together and get something out of it? How can we help them get I think of the NAACP, National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. Now they are pretty much like lawyers and advocates, but that's who we need to be. We are the National Association, okay, for the advancement of colored people. I don't know. We need a new name or
But we
something.
want to see the
But
colored people advance. We can't be in the same position. We want to see the colored people advance.
We want to see them go somewhere. Yeah,
I
we
want
want
to
to
say
see them
this:
moving, not like a rocket ship.
So the National Industrial Hemp Association was able to secure a grant where they took 22 people to Beijing, China, to do research on hemp. There is a USDA hemp department within the Marketing Services Agency. They are giving out climate smart grants for funding for soil remediation and for biogenic building materials. I'm telling you this because outside of the things we talked about earlier, when we're talking about getting organized and collaborating together, they are giving upwards of $22 million for 3-year projects for this plan. So, selling all the stuff we talked about is nice. But then there's this level of the conversation that we could be at through collaboration if we're registered in the SAM system, which is where you register for your grants and your if you're a nonprofit. And if you're a for-profit, this is where you register for your government contracts, because there are opportunities, again, through climate smart initiatives in the USDA media marketing services for the hemp department. There are grant opportunities for money, upwards of $22 million, and we need enough people to stick to the plan, because I've been on a lot of plans and people will run off, like I said, backstab you, do all these things, and it will discourage you. But there is opportunity. So when people say sometimes we need to get organized, I promise you, I've tried for 10 years to organize a lot of different opportunities, but because people can't stick to the plan, it takes a little longer for us sometimes. So know that there are opportunities. If you don't want to stick to me and Kyrion's plan, make sure you make your own plan, but no, they're giving that much money out right now for us to think future forward and not just what we could do now to make a little bit of money.
And it's amazing that you even bring that up. I definitely know that the word regenerative is just new and it done popped up and it's everywhere. But I didn't even know of that until the hemp plant came out. That there was a such plant that will put nutrients back into the ground. So I never even heard of regenerative until then. And don't get me wrong, they're also talking about like poop and different stuff that could put the nitrogen, potassium back into.
We don't talk about my chicken farm because, like, I was like, oh yeah, no, I'm finna grow me some chickens because egg prices going up, so I'm finna get my money. Okay, like I'm finna sell me some eggs, and I need to buy me some chickens so that I can sell some eggs. And so I learned about chicken tractors, and so there are different forms of chicken tractors that you can grow to have to where you can move them, but the chicken poop, whatever, comes from this, it goes into the soil, and so it creates grass for if you are growing cows, sheep, lamb, whatever case may be.
Raising,
they could graze on it.
If you're raising cows, they can graze on that, okay? And you growing the chickens in this area, then you move chickens to another area, boom, 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 circulate around the property.
I was just about to say that's called circular farming.
Oh, circular farming.
Clock it,
girls. Clock. I'm gonna get on it in a minute, Alexis. I'm almost.
Me and you gonna be out in public.
Yes.
Circular farming.
Regenerative is the word as well. Okay. Circular just makes it amazing in the sense of what you said. Like, I have these chickens are pooping, it's growing grass, it's feeding animals, we're eating animals, and now here's the circle.
There's the circle. And so, yeah, we love that, these people are figuring out what regenerative grow is, but industrial hemp was the first, they learning about things and how to get the soil back right, but hemp was the first. And so we definitely, need to probably start carrying more plants around so people can stop saying, are you high? Are you getting high? No, I'm finna go build a building. I'm finna take this same plant and go build me a building. I'm gonna take this plant and make this same sweater that I paid way too much money for. Now that I know that I can and make my own with my hemp flower.
It's a Neiman's.
Yes.
You can find my sweater in Neiman's, $525.
Let's talk about why it costs so much, because there's no machinery in the United States to process the fiber. That's to degum the fiber. So they're still getting it from China, and we at a war with China, who's been importing our everything
right now.
Let's look around our house.
Yes.
So if we thought stuff was expensive before, baby, it's about to be $1,000 hemp sweater. $1,000 hemp sweater.
Yeah. And if I make it, it's gonna be $1,500 because I can. That's what I'm doing with my plant. I'm just not just growing it. I'm finna get me one of them Beauty and the Beast Cinderella wheels, one of them wheels, and get to spin it. Hopefully I don't prick my finger. But yeah, I'm on. Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
I got to get it done. We don't have to reinvent the wheel, but we do need to figure out how we can make money with this plant that is going to make money no matter what. We waiting on folks to regulate it, and that's the reason we're waiting is because they can't figure out how to control it. You can grow this plant anywhere, in sand, in the backyard, in a plant, in a yeah, all of that. It's just that plant grows everywhere, so it's very hard to try to regulate it. You don't need a lot because again, it cleans the soil and then it puts what it needs to back in. Marcus told me what I'm talking about with the Cinderella and Beauty and the Beast. It's called a spindle. So yes, and I think you could probably make that. Yes, we go. It's just very important that we understand that this is the time for you to have multiple streams of income. This is the time that you need to figure out a way for generational wealth. This is the time that you need to learn about financing, math. Don't be afraid anymore. It's gonna be okay. And you do math every day. It's not something that you're like, oh, that algebra. Yes, problem solving. You do that every day. You got to figure out how I'm gonna pay Peter if I rob Paul. Okay, that is problem solving. Algebra all day. The variables. When am I gonna rob Paul? Okay, how much do I need to rob Paul for? You got to figure all that out because you got to.
Paul is Georgia
Power. Peter. Right, because Peter ain't playing, so that's just important.
I had Georgia Power come and visit my kids today, and they were just talking about like a 5-minute shower is the ideal amount of time for you. to save on energy. Like everybody take 5
well,
minutes.
if they would allow solar energy, we wouldn't have to worry about. But we're not going to do that right now. We're not going to do that right now because
we already have solar. You can see the first episode, ladies and gentlemen, about how you can divert your energy to solar powered. Because we already had that conversation. We had that conversation. We already caught that.
Solar and hemp go hand in hand.
Solar and hemp go hand in hand. You got to get that stuff together. You got to get on it, and you got to figure out exactly how, again, can this benefit you? How can your farm get what it needs? You know,
Donald Trump to cut the lights off.
Yes. Any other issues that you think the farmers were facing and we've had to kind of jump on?
What I'd implore the farmers to do lately, I've been seeing large videos of like what's it called? Stepping activities or ATV rides. Those are two things I've seen farmers doing a lot of as far as social activities. You know, when they be line dancing with the fans and all of that. They have had thousands of people at some of these events. And what I need, where them fans at? So I'm bringing this up because when you're able to bring that many people to one space at a time, you need to start doing a little bit of education. So whether it's hiring us to come do a little education for you, I just went to Dawson, Georgia for Ag Connection with James Lewis. That was an awesome time. Cedric Rowe was there. The Georgia Department of Agriculture was there. And what we did was talk about this material here. I gave some of this material out to them and told them do a science experiment at home where you have 1 cup of soil you did not add it into and see how that plant does. And then here's another plant, you add that into it, see how that plant does. And it will be a little bit of research for you at home on seeing how hemp could help your soil just at a very basic level. This is dried out herd. So back to the point of when you could bring thousands of people together, have a moment for education. Even if it's just 10 minutes for education, you do it by yourself, you hire somebody, you collaborate with somebody. Make sure when you're able to bring that many people together, you're doing education, whether it's about policy, it's about application, it's about investment opportunity, about co-opting. Make sure there's some level of education so there's unification in compliance and we do have business opportunities together.
Like, we really appreciate you for being here. Like,
you priceless. Are enlightening us.
You're priceless. Okay, like
we're definitely on your side.
I'm supposed to be there at the Pink Plains event. Listen, I wasn't even.
Your mama was able to come, girl, and we had a good old time.
She was here.
We trying to support each other. I mean, that's. You got to definitely take 2 seconds out. You know,
we love it.
We are coming to the end because we've been talking, and I knew this would happen. You know, Alexis, because
I'm so sorry. Look,
not only are you. No, not only are you knowledgeable, you know, you are easy to talk to because we need to hear about everything. We don't want to just hear about this block. You know, we got to do stuff in black and white, but we need to hear real talk, how real people in the community is doing real work.
She told us about the hard part, about what's not sweet, the not sweet parts of it. Like, oh yeah, no, it's definitely gonna be difficult. If you thought it was a walk in the park, no, this ain't that.
So ask Jay-Z and his brand. Jay-Z had the money, his brand did not survive. So it is not a walk in the park, and having the money does not give you instantaneous success. Not having the money and having the knowledge does not give you instantaneous success. So at the end of the day, that's why one of my main things on my website, you see safe access, that's understanding that we should not be criminalized for wanting to do activities with the plant. You know, and really getting professionals to understand that, because sometimes we have to realize there's systems already set up. So when we're talking about health and healing and wellness, there's a whole industrial health system set up with hospitals, indoctrination, and so
big farm.
We're not talking about what makes sense. We're talking about disrupting a system, and so we just have to be mindful of that. And that's why I believe slow and steady is the approach you should take if you're in the hemp and cannabis industry. Even as a farmer, start off with half an acre. Start off with 1 acre. 1 acre, I promise you, will be enough for you to pull some oil out of, for you to make industrial agritourism sites. Say you don't even want to sell it, just have people visit and learn. That is an opportunity. It's $50 per acre in the state of Georgia for you to be a farmer. That's a very low investment if you're not trying to get rich or die trying. Just have an education season where you just grow so you can learn and document and share. That's the direction I think farmers should really be focused on versus investing $50,000 of your saving into something that has not been substantiated, not just in Georgia, but on a global level for the United States. We've been struggling in this market because it's been illegal. So now we need compliance and social things and finances to all line up. So don't rush into this industry. Definitely take your time, find out what area you belong in. Is it farming? Is it white labeling? Is it advocacy? Is it what we're doing right now? Because this is a part of public relations. Figure out where you belong and then partner with somebody like me and these two ladies right here. So you can be successful and scale your brand and not have all of the responsibility on just you and your staff.
Yes, Amber Dunn says, thank you so much, Alexis, for dropping these jewels.
Period.
Yes. So, shout out to Amber Dunn for watching. We really appreciate you. You too, Noreen.
Shout out to
she
Noreen.
always got our back. You know, Noreen, again, brought me into this thing. Yeah, definitely that. So right now we have up Alexis Harris contact information. This is from her website. So again, harrisconsulting.com is how you get to her. And she
it's
definitely
actually
has an email.
consultantharris.com. I'm sorry, consultantharris.com, and I'm going to put it in the chat for you guys.
Did I say Harris Consulting? It's Consulting Harris.
ConsultingHarris.com.
I do have it as your label on your screen, Consulting Harris. So everybody.
And I just love how she inspires me, y'all. Like where she literally was just like, this is my family brand. My dad is doing all of the things and this, and this. So I was just like, you know what? We're gonna make it a family team. It's gonna be a family brand, and that's what we're doing. So Greenhouse, just what we got going on.
Yeah.
And
Greenhouse Consultants she is an environmental engineer. She did that 2018. Business administration, masters in leadership. I did that,
did that.
Yeah, and then we're here again, like Alexis, to help you guys figure it out. You got a lot of questions. Please email me, coach@agriculture-up.org. Please call Alexis and say, hey, I'm trying to get into this hemp. This is where I'm located. Marcus Stalling is watching, and we're going to send his information over to you too, Alexis. So again, where am I? What should I be doing? She has great suggestions for you. USDA is not going to have. NRCS is not going to have no suggestions for you. Okay, there definitely is going to send you away. So pick up the phone.
You gotta have what you need to have when you come to them, because they do have the resources to support you, but if you don't even know what you want, then how can you ask for what you need?
Right. So
they have $22 million, remember? So they do have money, but when you're trying to figure out how to operate and drive the ship at the same time, that's what makes it hard. Like I said, SAM registration is not a breeze. Grant writing is not a breeze. So imagine how many people they had to have on their team to mobilize 22 people to China, and what that ticket looked like, and us being able to know like how much we should be asking for, what they will actually cover, and how to submit that type of application. So don't be hard on yourself if it takes you some time to learn certain things, because everything is not just 1, 2, 3 all the time. That's why we're talking about the services we offer to take that stress off of you, because it's not easy to do all of these things at once.
Yeah. So anything else you want to leave us with before we end the show? Because yes, USDA is still learning, so I'm sure they're watching too. We have subscribers even from them who's still trying to figure it out, and they really appreciate us, and that's why they throwing all that money. They must have been listening to you, Alexis, and said, "Dang,
you and me." It's like, dang, don't forget my bank account. I'm here. I'm right here.
Don't forget it. Oh yeah, no, the millions is coming.
Yes. So any last words that you have for our people? Yeah.
So if you're available and you're here in Atlanta on March 20th, we have Trap Day at the Capitol with Representative Eric Bell. They have special guests, social media influencers, and community influencers. Well, they'll be talking about different layers of both hemp and cannabis. So again, that's at the Georgia State Capitol off of Washington Street in Atlanta. If you've never been, make sure you bring your ID. You do have to go through a security gate, so be mindful of that. Make sure what you got on you when you go through the security gate. But it's always a good time of meeting other powerful leaders in the community. So again, that's March 20th. And on March 27th, it's tentative right now, but we'll have an event for the Georgia Women at Ag Day, honoring agricultural community leaders. For Women at Ag Day at the Capitol. So put those 2 dates on your calendar, March 20th, March 27th, and then
it's,
again
March 27th.
That's the second date.
March. Mm-hmm.
And
for
then
the Georgia Women at Ag.
In July
March
10th.
20th.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna put it in the chat box. March 20th.
Cool. And then that way we'll have that too, because we definitely don't want to miss anything. Yeah.
And then
I was trying to find a flyer. I can't find a flyer for Smoke Day, but yeah, definitely meet us at the Capitol. Anybody interested in him? Even though we're calling it a Smoke Day, again, we're just trying to bring awareness.
The thing about
March 20th.
You know what I know is crazy? Like somebody just hit me up about transportation. They said they got a box truck company and they want to support people who are transporting hemp. And it was like, okay, how can I get into transporting hemp? Like, what do I need to do as a business to make sure? I was like, all you need to do is make sure you get your COA from the whoever is transporting, and you're good.
And your growers, you get their growers license and COA, and yeah, you can do that without having to be.
And that's just a logistics type of situation. So if you're even into logistics, if that's something that you're into, then we need people who are in logistics to be able to transport. Come
out March 20th. Yeah, Smoke Day at the Capitol.
Have the capacity to provide refrigeration services, like whatever the case may be. It just depends on the level of capacity that you're providing. Like if farm hands.
Yeah,
we're not going to talk about how many construction sites are down right now because of the ICE services. So we're just gonna leave that.
Yeah, we're gonna leave that. Yeah, we do. So it's a wide variety of areas that you can get into. So again, we're gonna have SJ Labs. Sarah J. She was unable to make it tonight. Her mother-in-law fell ill, but we're definitely gonna have her come on next week to talk about the testing requirements. We're going to bring Raw Organics on too. He can also talk about inventory and some more things. But this was very important, you guys. Your hemp business, you need to start it. Secretary of State's office, UEI, which is from your SAMS number that you get through grants.gov, and your EIN number that you need with IRS. So these are things, again, to help you bring yourself together so you'll be in line to get this money that's out here. Okay. And we're definitely on board with that. So thank you again, Alexis Harris, for joining us tonight, taking time out. She is, real women juggle. If you know a real woman, they doing this all day from their husbands to their children.
Shout out a real woman in the comments.
Okay, to their businesses, to even helping others. So yes, real women juggle, and so we appreciate you, Alexis, for bringing us into that the swerve of things in your life, and we definitely want to shout out your business, and we're going to support you every chance we get, because that's how we do around here. And we agriculture for united people.
We're united, okay? Like we don't give our flowers to the people who need their flowers, and this is us giving you your flowers, man. If nobody else gave you your flowers, this is us giving you your flowers and letting you know you are doing all of the things. God is his hands on you.
Oh, I just love that.
If anybody else know it, like all the things you're doing, all is the blessings are coming your way because you went above and beyond to do what you needed to do to help your people. And that's all he asked. Like when God anointed David, okay. When he anointed David, David wasn't the one. David wasn't a warrior. David was minding his business in the fields.
Okay.
David was minding he was like, no, you finna be king.
Yes. So that's what we are. We really appreciate everybody. So thank everybody again for watching. Last week we did. Thank you again. Yeah, last week, yes. Last week we did go through Georgia Hemp and all the grower license requirements. So if you need that, you can definitely check that our last week's episode out. And yes, we just
so
clock it, Alexis.
If y'all don't know, this is what clock it is.
That's because she worked with them 8th graders.
I got to keep up. I don't know. I don't even know.
Yeah, we all need to keep up. Okay.
I'm trying to.
Thank you. That's why we brought you on here to help us keep up. So thank you for Marcus, Noreen, and everybody who has been chiming in. You too. Please like and subscribe to the Ag Up World. We'll be back at it next week. We're still talking about industrial hemp and your hemp business. Okay. So thank you again, Amber Dunn, for listening in. And
Happy
we have several people
History Month.
Yeah. And women are doing it and doing it live. And we're glad that we're here to be able to say, we don't care if you're a man or woman. If you got good information, bring it. And Ag Up World will present it. So thank you all again so much.